So how long
So
has it been your whole journey up to right now from when you started trading Forex to the point that you are now?
I got into the boot camp in around March. I started trading Forex, I want to say around December, January.
Oh, dude, so you're not even a year in. So how much have you scaled right now in your personal account?
I actually started out with 1,000. I took my account up to 10,000.
I mean, dude, I'll tell you right now, you're way ahead of how I was when I got started in my trading journey. The fact that you're making money the first year that you're learning because of the 30-day boot camp is absolutely like ridiculous.
I'm going to dedicate my success to you one day in the future. Alex G,
Yo, yo, what's good?
what's good, man?
Another day, another dollar, bro.
I know that's right, man. No, that's right.
Where you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh, but I'm living in Atlanta. We get this crazy rain right now going on.
Yeah, I know we're about to get hit with the storm. Well, I think you guys are gonna get hit more than us.
Yeah, I'm getting hit right now, like
Yeah,
literally.
yeah, I see that. Let me see.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you good. Yep.
Yeah, so bro, basically what we want to run up right now is a quick pod. Just talk about like, your experience trading, the strategy. I know the guys were telling me that you basically deposit into a live account and you've been scaling it. You haven't withdrawn yet, but you've been scaling it and then you want to throw it into like a funded account and stuff like that.
Yeah, because whenever I took the boot camp, that's when a lot of the that's when a lot of the MetaTrader 4 and 5 was getting deactivated, and a lot of the funding companies was going down. So I really a lot of the ones I was reaching out to, and they still wasn't taking US clients.
Yeah.
So I just took it upon myself, and I just started up a funded. I mean my own funded account. I just deposited the money myself and just been trying to scale it up, because now I've been reaching out to some more funded accounts, so I want to build my portfolio up a little bit more than what it is now.
So what would you do? You start off your personal account. So before the 30-day boot camp, were you already trading or were you not?
I was trading. Yes, I was.
Were you having results or no?
Not really. And I was struggling because it was more of my psychological.
Yeah.
And I still struggle with that a little bit. Like I still struggle with that a little bit now. And I seen it, it happened with you too a little bit. So it kind of made me feel a little bit better. So I'm like, man, somebody who is as successful as you, and and how far you've came, and how far you are in the game, you still, struggle with that a little bit too as well. I know it kind of affected you different because you have the challenge versus your own personal account, but just to see that, you still struggle with that too as well, just kind of, helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like the way I look at it is at the end of the day, we're humans, we could go under so much pressure and we can be prepared to handle all the pressure that trading can like face us, that the markets can give us. But like we're humans, like by default, we are emotional and we're just bound to have emotional decisions around money no matter what. So obviously, like what kind of happened to me is just a challenge that I wasn't sleeping. I was just tired of doing the challenge and I just wanted to pass quick. So, emotions and all that, it's part of the roller coaster. But what's key to the psychology would be more of like you accepting the fact, like how you are right now, that you know that that's your weak point and then you just attack that weak point, not because you're emotional then go and change something in your technical, because the technical remains the same always. As you can see what happened with me, like if I
Right.
literally just took the same trade, I didn't do anything different. The only thing that I did different was have a different mindset when I took the trade, and you see how the results completely changed because I set and forget, so on and so forth. So before the boot camp and after the boot camp, what would you say was your biggest drastic technical change that you had?
The biggest technical change was for me, and one of the main reasons why I signed up for your boot camp was the area of interest.
Sick.
Like I knew it. Like I've been studying stocks for a couple years now, and I know about support resistance and everything like that. But I was intrigued, like by watching your YouTube and everything, is how you would find your area of interest, and the importance of your area of interest. So that's what I took a lot out of your boot camp. And as far as like your entry confirmations, and you know what I mean, just trying to figure out like, and scaling down from the higher time frames. I think that helped me out a lot too, because when I first started out, I was more focused on the smaller time frames and wasn't seeing the bigger picture of my trading. So when I found out, about the higher time frames and how you implement the area of interest into your higher time frames, just looking at the overall market direction and making sure that the time frames are in confluence with each other, that was a major help for me.
And then would you say like as soon as you finished the boot camp, did you go right into a live account? Did you like lose some money, or how did that work?
Yes, I actually lost some money because I was trading gold.
Yeah.
And gold is bipolar.
Yeah, I know.
Like most of my losses have come from gold. My winning trades were on pairs, Forex pairs. But for some reason, I tend to sometimes go back to trading gold.
Why?
So, I don't know why. I just completely cut gold out of my trading platform now because, like I said, it's just too bipolar for me. 1 minute I can be up on my trade, and then 2 seconds later it'll reverse and I'm down, and it's just like, and it was messing up my psychology a lot. So I don't trade gold anymore.
So how much have you scaled right now your personal account?
I actually started out with 1,000. I took my account up to 10,000, and now my account is, I've been back and forth because I drive a lot for my job. So I realized that when I was making these bad trades, it was because I wasn't on the screen. I was on my phone. I wasn't in front of the actual markets on my laptop or on my computer. So now I focus more on the times I have trained, like during the London session or like pre New York, because that's when I can be in front of my computer instead of me being on the phone.
Mm-hmm. So where's the account right now that you took it up from 1,000?
7,500.
Okay, that's not bad. And how long did it take you to get to that point?
I was in the boot camp. I want to say March. Okay.
Yeah. That's not bad. So you're like slow and steady growing it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Slow and steady going it. And like with the challenge with you, I got into the challenge late. I came in on week 3.
Why?
Because I didn't know. I stopped getting the emails from you. I don't know why the emails wasn't coming to me. And then when I finally seen it on Instagram, I was already late. It was already going into week 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily you had like 8 more weeks, so at least you got some of that stuff, which is good.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, question: do you think that you would have been able to scale the 1,000 to the 10,000 without the boot camp beforehand?
Not really, honestly, because like I said, I was more on the lower time frame. I wasn't seeing the bigger picture. So I don't think I would have been able to scale it the way I've done. And to be honest with you, I think I left a lot more on the table because I can do more, because one of my main reasons, downfalls I was doing was over leveraging too. Because I've blown a couple accounts too as well because over leveraging. Now, like I said, I could have probably did better, but I'm focusing more on not over leveraging because I have blown accounts before in the past.
Yeah, it's super normal for somebody like when they're getting started into trading to do that. So you're saying that right now that you're a truck driver?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then what would you say to somebody out there that, let's say they're a truck driver themselves? Do you think that they would be able to learn the craft and put in time to watch the bootcamp videos or even be part of it?
Yes, because that's what I do while I'm driving. I listen to, you know what I mean? I listen repetitively because you said once you got access to the courses, you can constantly listen, you can constantly watch, you can constantly listen. So even though I've watched them, I still listen to them because I already know the information that you're implementing. So I watch them just to give me that extra assurance of what I need. Because like with the course, you can go to specific areas within the course.
Mm-hmm. So you say that like what helped you has been like the repetition of hearing it over and over again?
Correct.
And then you don't have any prior experience of finance? Did you go to college, study?
No, none whatsoever.
So how long has it been your whole journey up to right now, from when you started trading Forex to the point that you are now?
I started trading, I got into the boot camp in around March. I started trading Forex, I want to say around December, January.
Oh, dude, so you're not even a year in?
No, I'm not even a year in, no.
Oh, bro, you're just getting started, bro.
Yeah, I'm just getting started. Not even a year. I'm not even a full year in.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you definitely, and the fact that you've actually been able to see some type of profit within the year that you started learning is fucking ridiculous. For like, it took me 2.5 years to see any profits on this side. Like, it took me a really, really long time. So, I mean, the fact that, you know, you're on that other side already and you see the opportunity that trading actually gives you, that you can actually make money with it, is huge,
Mhm.
because now you just have to figure out what is getting you to that point that you're struggling with. And you have to get to that point where you know exactly what you're doing right. So then you just double down on that. If you're really good at now, let's say, lining up areas of support, you just double down on mainly focusing on areas of support and figuring out how to get the best entry on that. And then if you know that you're struggling with, let's say, psychology or exit strategy or whatever, you just double down on that. Because a lot of people, they try and get everything around trading at the same time. And it's like, well, you probably don't even have to care about the trend, because it's just easy for you to do. Like, you don't have to subconsciously be worrying about learning the trend or constantly have to put it to practice. Like, you only put the practice or try and get better at what you're not, and you double down on what you're good at. Does that make sense?
That was some of the best advice that I thank you so much for that, because that is excellent advice, because that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to focus on everything as a whole, and from just I'm gonna start implementing just what you said, just focusing on my strong points and then implementing on that, and gradually go as I get better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't try and just don't try and do everything at the same time. Like, if there's things that you're doing good, like entry signal or stop loss or take profit or trend or whatever, like, don't even focus on that, because that's just easy. That's just like you getting inside your truck. You turn it on, you throw the gears, like, it's easy. You don't really have to think about that. But let's say what you're not that good at is, let's say, backing it up, for example. Like, well, you know, you got to work on that. You don't got to subconsciously think about anything else other than just backing it up. So, like, you got to focus on the psychology series. Have you watched the psychology series when you got access
Yeah.
to that? Did those
Yes.
help you?
Yes.
They helped you?
But it helps me. But you know how they say, whenever you trade in a demo account versus your real money,
Yeah.
it's the psychology. You can hear it, but when you got real money on the line, it's like it's the different. So I'm still working on that.
Of course. I mean, dude, I'll tell you right now, you're way ahead of how I was when I got started in my trading journey. The fact that you're making money the first year that you're learning because of the 30-day boot camp is absolutely, like, ridiculous. Like, it's not something that it was common when I got started. Like, what was common when I got started is people just seeing some type of profit on year two, maybe year three. So the fact that in year one you're making profit, trust me, you're on the right path. Like, you're already getting it.
Like to hear that coming from you, because sometimes I be feeling like I guess you make it harder, because seeing what you can do, it makes you feel like it gives you so much drive and ambition. But I know I gotta take baby steps. I know that you put a lot of hard work and dedication into your craft, and you took a lot of bumps along the way too, as well. So I have to realize that me being starting my journey into this, and like I said, not being a year in, that in time that will come. So I just have to just take baby steps. I can't focus on those big wins and those home runs that I be seeing you and a couple other people that's in the industry. I just have to focus on my psychology, stay on the charts, learn to implement which works for me, and gradually build, and everything else will come.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to down pat it. Like, the only thing you got to do now is just execute exactly what you said on. There's nothing else that you got to add or remove from that. It's just execute on what you just said. So, going to the boot camp, would you say that the live classes is what made you understand everything live, or the recordings? Like, what would you say you had a better connection with?
To be honest, I would say the recordings, because you know on the live, a lot of people were spamming. It was a lot of
Yeah,
trolls. It was a lot
yeah,
going on. You know what I mean? So when I was going through the live, I was there mainly every day. I might have missed 1 or 2 days, but I went back to the recordings. But being able to continuously go back and view it helped out, because in the live, sometimes you can get distracted. But
yeah.
then when you go back and rewatch it again, you pick up on more, you get to pick up on more things that you missed the first time during the live.
And
So
then,
I think go
what,
ahead.
yeah, no, I was just saying, like, what would you say that you would wanna, like, that you would want to see on the lives? Because, like, I'm thinking of doing another boot camp now,
Uh-huh.
and when I'm doing another one, I'm thinking that I would probably do like a 30-minute Zoom call before the boot camp gets started, just for questions. Get everybody's questions like literally lined up about what we can potentially talk about in that class, then teach the whole class. And then after the class is done, 30 minutes after, then I would do another Q&A session. So like that way, it's pretty much fucking impossible for people to have any questions, because I ask the ones before the class and then the ones after.
That right there would work out so bad. I was actually in the boot camp with Jay and Juice.
That's crazy, right?
We was in the same boot camp together.
Isn't that crazy how he goes from being like one of the guys in the chat, probably the most annoying guy in the chat, to then like just being close and being part of the group? Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love that. You know what I mean? Because I used to be laughing whenever he used to be on the chat. I used to be laughing because he used to be like, this guy Jay and Juice, and then just to see how he's come and how he's grown, it's just amazing. On, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything you're doing for the community and in the space is so, you being so transparent and showing your wins. Like, a lot of people just like to show their wins.
Yeah.
But just for you showing your wins, your losses, and everything, like I said, I follow. There's multiple people that I follow within the Forex space, but you know, you're authentic and genuine, and that's what made me gravitate towards, you know, getting into the boot camp.
Of course, no, and I appreciate that. I try my best every single day to just make it as legit as it possibly can be. Like, you know, and it's a lot of like work on me having to make a decision for myself, and then having to explain that decision to then like 100,000 people, how my thought process is going about it at that time. You know, like when you're doing something subconsciously, you just do it subconsciously. You don't ever think about doing it subconsciously, but then going literally after you do it, taking a step back and then explaining to people that have no idea how that's become your subconscious. So like right now, let's say you're a truck driver, like you get in, you turn on, you do the gears, you put the headset on, you talk to whoever you have to talk to, you log into your portal. Because I know when you drive, you have to log in now. I know it's not like paper and stuff. A couple of my friends are drivers. Like you do all that stuff subconsciously. Like you don't ever have to take a step back and be like, oh fuck, let me have to teach 1,000 people how to do this subconsciously when they have no idea what a truck is. You get what I'm saying? Like it's very difficult.
For sure. Yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from.
But I think I've been able to reverse engineer all that to perfection, and that's why the 30-day boot camp is there, to be able to help and, you know, change people's lives and just get them to understand how this can actually become subconscious by you just simply following the steps backwards, you know?
Correct.
So if you were to have another takeaway from the 30-day boot camp, aside from the area of interest, what would you say that it would be?
Another takeaway
that you're like, that was like shit.
The higher time frames. Mm-hmm. That's what you're referring to?
Yeah. Like something else that, okay, you know what, that actually helped me a lot.
The higher time frames being having 2 or more higher time frames in confluence with each other, as well as I'm trying to just think of that's mainly the two that I think of come off straight off the bat, the area interest and the higher time frames. And I would say, you know, the entry signal. The entry signal, you know, because a lot of people, and this is another thing where I failed out a lot, trying to get that sniper entry.
Yeah.
Trying to predict the market. That's where I've like, I had to correct myself on that, because instead of waiting for your entry signal, like say if it hits my area of interest, and before it gives me my interest signal, I want to get in early to make more profit before the trade tells me this is what it needs to be doing. I try to get a sniper entry, then the trade goes against me, and I'm like, and then my psychology kicks in and say, oh man, what happened? No, what happened was I didn't wait. I wasn't patient for the pair to give me my entry signal.
Yeah,
I didn't wait for my confirmation.
And then the entry signal, a lot of people overcomplicate it. They think it's like they either think it's something super simple, like one candlestick that I look for, or they think that I look for this whole entire master secret that I only like. It's right. It's actually very simple. You just wait for like one specific shift of structure, then you wait for the candlestick, and then that's it. Like you can literally tell somebody what it is, but they just won't know how to implement it, because again, they have to go back into the steps. Like before the entry signal, well, you got to be at an area of interest. But before the area of interest, you have to be with the trend. But before the trend, you have to see the price action. Like there's just so many steps before the entry signal. Like you can't just learn the entry signal and be successful with that. It's practically impossible.
Oh, another thing is too, the higher highs and the higher lows.
Mm.
And like, there's a couple times on the boot camp to where I might have marked a higher, I might have marked, and it wasn't really a true elbow.
Okay, that's a big mistake a lot of people do, and it can change the whole.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's another important step that I got on the boot camp, learning how to, like, say if it was it went in from a from bullish to bearish, and I might have said it went back bullish because of that one little elbow, when really that wasn't an elbow, it was just a reaction.
Correct.
So just
Correct.
implement, so just learning that, and like I said, being like, I'm a visual learner, so it's better to see it than you know what I mean. So that right there helped out a lot. It really did.
Sick. So you would recommend somebody that's getting started to be part. Let's say if I were to do another boot camp for them to join and be part of it.
Absolutely, because just the information that you provide alone is so beneficial to someone. I mean, it's extremely beneficial if they implement the strategies that you teach and that you show on a daily basis. That's proven to work.
Yeah,
We we
facts.
we, we see that it's proven to work. Long as the trader is able to be fixed too as well. The strategies work if you can implement the strategy, but you also, like you said, all have to be the trader. Just like you just said in your post, you made the right trade, but it was the trader. You know what I mean? Like, the trade was on point. If you would have stayed in the trade that you originally took, you would have been way more in profit that you was in.
Yeah, it's the trader behind the strategy. The strategy is just like a system, but it's the person implementing that system that has to be in check.
Exactly, 100% fact. And another thing is, I started journaling recently. I started writing down my mistakes, my wins, what I should have did, what I shouldn't have did, and that, you know what I mean. So now I can go back and reflect instead of just being in the moment and not having no data on what, why I took that trade, and why I shouldn't have took that trade, and it helps me out with my psychology. So right now I can say I'm on a path. I see good things coming up in the future for me. I see more growth and more building, especially within the community. Like, there's a lot of time in the community where I be in a Discord a lot, and I really don't post a lot. I just sit there and, I see what other people are going through, or, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people want the handout. A lot of people want the signals. A lot of people want the entries. A lot of people, and it frustrates me because you're actually teaching people how to fish.
Yep.
Instead of, you know what I mean? If you give them the signals and give them the exact entries you're making, and exact, like, how is that benefiting them?
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So, just like I said, I know that there's still a lot of work I need to do, and I'm going to put in the work, because I know this is, something that's going to change my life, and my I got a son. I got an 8-year-old son. I know this is something that's going to, one day I can sit back and teach him, and it's going to change his life. So, like I said, I'm just glad that I was able to connect. Glad I was able to get in the boot camp, and I'm looking forward to, like, if you ever do a meet and greet, and I'm just looking forward to continuing to build. Like I said, I'm going to dedicate my success to you one day in the future.
Sick. I appreciate that, bro. And I think that they're doing the right thing, because a lot of people, once they start making money in their account, they just want to withdraw the money and spend it on some crazy shit. Just spend it. But the fact that you're leaving it in there and you just want to compound it over time just shows that you're here for the long run. You don't want to just make a quick buck tomorrow and pretty much be out. So, like, a little bit of a piece of advice, like, to you, to help you scale your account. I would just say, like, set like a hard take profit, right? Let's say you want to go back to 10K or 20K, or like whatever amount it is, right? Like, you think about what that number should be, and then what does that number mean to you, right? So let's say 25K, for example. Okay, you know what? If I get a 25K, that could be enough for me to buy a new truck, or that could be enough for me to do whatever it is you want to do with that money. Then once you get to that amount, you ask yourself, okay, do I really need this money for a new truck? Or should I then scale it to, then, let's say, 50K, so then I can pay off a debt, or buy a house, or do whatever it is that you want to do. But work slowly towards those goals. And when you get to that goal, I'm not going to say don't withdraw, but make a decision around the goal that you just hit. Like, okay, is this what I want from trading, or Do I want more? Do I need this from trading? Because there's everybody's situation is different. Some people have a financial situation where they need the money. Other people have a need to just make it work. Some people just need to see what the money hit their bank account so they can believe it and they can do it correctly and keep following the strategy. So I would just say is find your why towards the goal and find your needs towards that goal and why you would want to do it. So then over time you can scale and do it correctly.
I appreciate that. And like I never I didn't really take, like, I got a pass. You know, I was in the streets, you know, I lost a lot of years to, you know, the prison system, you know, from you know, I've had a lot of money, lost a lot of money, you know what I mean? And I want to actually buy my time back and just be able to, you know what I mean, just be able to be there for my family more and be there for my son more. And, you know, I just want to make trading my lifeline, my livelihood. Right now I still have to work, I still have to, but eventually I want to be able to make trading my number one income source. To be able to buy my time back, you know what I mean?
I think you're more than on that track, bro. You're like, again, like just seeing somebody have profits within the year, just to this day when I see students doing it, I just still don't realize or connect what that means, bro. Because like, imagine if I would have made profits my first year, I would have a year and a half more of lifestyle or whatever that I've had right now. Like imagine that. So dude, like you're way ahead of me from when I got started, bro. So all I can say is keep going.
So how, like, that's one of the questions that I asked you in your I think we was in the boot camp. No, I think we was in the boot camp. No, we was on the live. We just was on the live recently, and I asked you. You might not have seen. I know you probably get 1,000 people spamming the chats, but that was one of the things I asked in the questions. How did you overcome those first 2 years?
I mean, bro, to me, I was just so deeply invested that I had no other choice. So, you know, I was living at my parents and I didn't want to go back to school to study and I didn't want to stay at a job. So I just saw other people having results. So I'm like, okay, if they're having results, so can I. So I just kept going. And I knew that if I eventually kept implementing the same thing over and over and over and over again, it just has to fucking hit. Like it just, in my mind, I didn't understand anything other than that. So to me, I just couldn't stop. That was my mindset.
Yeah, listen. That's where I was at with it, because there was a couple of times like I blew a couple of accounts, and I was like, man, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, I'm thinking I thought I was doing everything right. You know what I mean? And sometimes I would get discouraged, like, you know, because I was using my own money, and it was like I'm like, man, like, you know, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. Like something has to, you know. So it got to the point to where I had to, you know, I had to take like a week or two off. And I said, you know, I had to go back, rewatch some of the videos, and I said, you know what, I gotta. For another thing, like you did on one of your trades when you lost the money, move the stop loss. Oh, I'm just gonna move it up just a little bit. You know what I mean? I had to learn to start cutting my losses short, because a lot of people don't know. If you lose 50%, it takes 100% to break even.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know. If you got $100 and you lose 50%, you got $50. You need 100% to go back to. So learning to cut your losses short helps out so much more, because like you said, your batting average, if you can be 40%, long as you cutting your losses, you can still be profitable.
Of course, because like you want to minimize how much you risk, but you want to maximize how much you could gain. And that's something that I try to explain to people. It's like you don't really have to get the best entry. Like to get the best entry to be more in profit, like you don't want to get the best entry. The best entry doesn't really matter. You just want price to confirm that it's rejecting and going in that direction. Even if you have a 10, 20 pip later entry, it's fine. It's not a big deal, because that late entry that you get, you make that back, instead of forgetting on the take profit at the bottom or at the top if you're buying, because waiting for that confirmation will make you avoid the loss that you would take getting a better entry without a confirmation. When you get that extra confirmation, you make that back at the bottom, because the trade is going in that direction.
I'm going to remember that. I'm going to write that down. As soon as, I'm going to put that in my notes as soon as we're done with this call.
Yeah, write that down. Write that down.
I'm telling you, I got to. I'm definitely writing that down.
For sure. But yeah, brother, I appreciate you getting on here and you basically being a testimony of the 30-day boot camp and being able to show people around the world that people are going to see this all around the world. Maybe another truck driver sees this video, maybe somebody young, obviously a bit older than your son, because 8 years old. To get, imagine somebody getting started at 8 years old, that'd be crazy, right?
I
But
know,
somebody
right?
there's somebody younger, like I've had 14-year-olds, 15-year-old students that have gotten in and done it. So I think your story and the way you've looked at it can motivate people and get people through any struggle that they can potentially be going through, and whatever excuses that they're putting, that it's all a limited belief, and you could be having a full-time job just how you did and not only learn the craft but actually be able to implement it and see some type of results.
Yes, and I thank you a lot too. I know you. I know your time is precious. So I thank you for being able to connect. And me sharing my story. And like I said, I'm one day we going to, like I said, hopefully when you do when you think about doing a meet and greet.
Yeah, I might do another meet and greet. Like as soon as I complete the 100 to the mill, I might just do a big one in Miami. So
Okay, yeah, I'm literally I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm not that far. So I'll
oh
definitely I'll definitely be there.
okay, yeah, like if I do, you should definitely come down. What is it? I think it's like an 8-hour drive, 10-hour drive.
Yeah. I just was in Orlando, because I just purchased a truck. I just purchased a truck for my company, and I had to drive to Orlando to get it. So it was like 6 hours, but I would fly. I wouldn't drive. I would fly.
Oh, okay, sick. Okay,
Yeah,
even better. Yeah, flight
yeah,
is like it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
yeah. I would fly. Yeah, I wouldn't drive. I'll fly.
Okay. All right, sick. So let's do it. So I hope to see you soon in the meet and greet, bro. I'll see
I
you
hope to
soon.
see you soon. I thank you so much, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Take care,
Appreciate
man.
you too. All right.
There you go.